In this problem, I'm given a point and I'm given the slope, and I'm asked to write the equation of a line in 4 different forms. In standard form, slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and vertex form. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what each of those look like generically. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. Slope-intercept means I know the slope and the y-intercept. So that means y equals m, being my slope, x plus b, being my y-intercept. Point-slope form means that I have a point and I have a slope. So it's going to be y minus y sub 1 is equal to my slope times x minus x sub 1, where x1, y1 are points. Vertex form, that's where I have y is equal to my slope, which in this case is, we're going to call it a, times x minus h plus k. Okay? So what I want you to think about with this one is, remember that we talked about h is the same as x1 and k is the same as y1. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. And a is the same as m for line. It just, different letters, it just kind of looks funny. So what are we given? We're given a point and we're given a slope. So when I'm looking at this, if I'm given a point and I'm given a slope, that means I want to find the equation where it's easiest for me to figure out the line. Well, this is giving me a slope, but it's giving me a y-intercept. I don't have that, do I? Oh, here I have a slope and I have a point. So I'm going to use point-slope form first. So that means this y stays minus my y1. Well, let's mark this. This is x1, y1, and this is my slope. So I might write m equals -3. Okay? So my y1 is 7 equals, my slope is -3 times x. Remember, this y and this x don't change because there's no subscript. Minus x1. Well, what is x1? -3. Okay? I'm almost done. I just have to simplify this because I can't have a minus minus. So this is y minus 7 is equal to -3 times x plus 3. I'm done. That is point-slope form. So I'm just going to mark that that's point-slope form. Okay, so let's see what would be the easiest thing to do next. Well, I think the easiest thing to do next would be to get my point-slope form into my vertex form, because when we look at this, let's just review. If I have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, if I add y1 to both sides of my equals, that gives me y is equal to m x minus x sub 1 plus y1. Well, isn't that similar to y is equal to a times x minus h plus k? It is, isn't it? So that means all I have to do with this equation here is I just have to get that -7 over to the other side. So if I have y minus 7 is equal to -3 times the quantity x plus 3, I just have to add 7 to both sides of my equation. It cannot get added to anything in here because this is inside the parentheses and this is being multiplied to that quantity. So that leaves me with y is equal to -3 times x plus 3 plus 7. So that is what vertex form is for my line. So I'm going to write that down. Y is equal to -3 times x plus 3 plus 7. So that's my answer for vertex form. It's very little work once I know what it is that I'm looking for. Okay, so now I'm looking at either one of these. I want to get it into slope-intercept form. This has y by itself already. My vertex form has y by itself. My slope-intercept form has y by itself. So I'm now going to work from my vertex form to get slope-intercept form. So remember, I'm simplifying, and so I'm going to then, this GEMDAS never goes away. I'm simplifying, so I'm going to go from left to right. I cannot do what's inside the parentheses. I cannot add x plus 3. There's no exponents, so that means I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply this negative 3 into the parentheses. So that gives me y is equal to negative 3x. Negative 3 and 3 gives me negative 9. This plus 7's on the outside, so it stays on the outside. Nothing happens to it. I'm still simplifying, so I don't have anything being multiplied, divided, but I have addition happening right here. So that means I have negative 3x minus 2, because negative 9 plus 7 is negative 2. So that is my slope-intercept form, which means I have y equals negative 3x minus 2. So now I just have to get it into standard form. Well, let's look at standard form. My x term and my y term are on the same side as my equal sign. When I look at my slope-intercept form, they're on opposite sides. So that means I have to get this negative 3x over to the y. So in order to move this negative 3x over to the y, because it's just having, the next thing is only being subtracted from it, I'm going to turn that into a 0. So that means then I have 3x plus y, because this is positive, is equal to negative 2. So that's my standard form. 3x plus y is equal to negative 2. So that problem looked like it was going to be a lot, but because we picked the point slope form and then went to vertex form next, because that was the easiest thing to do next, and then the easiest thing to do next to go to slope-intercept form, everything just fell into place real easily because they're all connected. These are all exactly the same equation.